Is your firm still sending project managers to boot camps and calling it training? If so, it might be time to rethink that strategy. It could be doing a lot more harm than good. In the AEC industry today, the word training has become a very scary word, something that professionals either rush through or completely disregard once they're back to their billable work. In this episode, I'm going to explain why it's time to move beyond the outdated idea of project management training and embrace a far more effective phrase of project management development. Before we jump in, I do want to tell you about our AEC PM Connect event built for project managers who want to improve project delivery, communication, and leadership through practical sessions and tools. These events provide an avenue to connect with leading project managers in the industry. Visit AECPMConnect.com and register today. We currently have events in Kansas City and New Jersey with more coming soon. I'm your host, Anthony Fasano, and this is the AEC PM Podcast. So what I want to talk about in the episode today is this idea of training versus development. And this is an idea that I wrote a lot about in my new book that was recently released, Beyond PM Training, How to Build a Scalable AEC PM Ecosystem. And the book talks about how a lot of organizations just try to do this training or boot camp training, and that's the whole strategy for developing their PMs. Whereas you really need to think a lot more about that and build an entire ecosystem, which would consist of their progression, their career paths, how you're onboarding and mentoring your PMs, right? Sure, the development programs, absolutely. How are you assessing your PMs, the software and the tools that they're using, all the way up to maybe even building a project management office in your organization. And so what I want to focus on today is the idea between training and development. And let's be honest here, most AEC professionals view training as a box to check, not an opportunity for real growth in their careers. And that's a mindset that really needs to change. A lot of AEC professionals will kind of log into the online university that their company has created. They'll watch a few webinars on project management. They'll claim a couple of PDHs, right? They'll call it a day and they'll get back to their billable work. And maybe that sounds familiar to you. I hope it's not because that's what you do, but it happens. And, we can't try to ignore the fact that it does happen. And the reason that it does happen is because the industry pressures project managers and technical professionals who transition into project managers with this idea of being highly billable. Maybe 95% or more of their time has to be on billable projects. So some companies will even ask professionals to do training on their own time. That's not very realistic in today's world for many reasons, but one of them being that a lot of these project managers are working 40 to 50 hours per week on their jobs, and then they have personal obligations and families and children. And so if you're expecting them to go home at night and do PM training in a university online, and actually you think that's going to be helpful for them and they're going to retain it, it's not a realistic consideration. And I know what a lot of leaders and companies think. They say, well, listen, if we're paying for a training program, you should do it on your own time. We're the ones investing in it. And I understand the philosophy there, but at the same time, it's, again, not realistic that someone's going to take their own personal time with everything else they have going on in life, plus juggling their projects, and try to do it. And the result, if you do try that approach, is typically the professionals don't engage, right? They don't retain the information, and companies end up losing time and money. And that's especially true with outdated approaches like PM boot camps, right? These high cost, high intensity programs that are low retention in terms of the information that the PMs are learning, right? You're drinking from a fire hose for a few days, and you'll probably never look at the material again, whether it's in the form of a PDF or, for me, it used to be given to me in a binder when I went to the PM boot camps as an engineer. It just doesn't work. And that's why at the Engineering Management Institute a few years ago, we made a major shift. We completely stopped using the word training and we started using the word development. All right. And why did we do that? So a couple of reasons. And the whole idea with this episode is to start to help you retrain your mind in thinking development is better than training, whether it's for you or your organization. And if you look up the word train in the dictionary, the word train means to undergo instruction or drill. right? So you're drilling someone, you're instructing someone, right? It's a very short-lived thing. It's an action. It's that training action. The word develop means to bring out capabilities and bring someone to a more advanced or effective state. Think about that last part. Bring someone to a more advanced or effective state. This distinction really matters, right? I mean, think about it for a minute. If you're thinking about training your project managers on certain skill sets and certain concepts, would you want to instruct or drill them? Or would you want to bring out capabilities and bring them to a more advanced or effective state? Probably the latter, right? Training is very much a one-time event. Development is about long-term growth. It's not just about receiving information, but it's about applying it, practicing it, and truly growing as a project manager. So instead of these one-off bootcamp events at the Engineering Management Institute, we design project management development programs that are very involved, and they have a lot of different components. And I'm going to share some of this today with you in hopes that you can maybe take the programs you're currently using and improve them so you can get better and faster development out of your project managers, but real development, right? Not check the box development. A lot of the programs that we build will end up being multi-tiered programs, right? Like a foundations program and then an advanced program. And we use something called spaced repetition. Right? Research shows that spaced learning, right, where you get a little bit of information, right, then you practice it and then you come back for more, can dramatically enhance knowledge retention and recall. All right. In fact, you may have heard of something called the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. It's a pretty interesting concept in theory. If you haven't looked into it, you really should. But according to the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve, without reinforcement, learners forget up to 70%, that's 70% of new information within 24 hours. Now, on the flip side, studies from institutions like Harvard Medical School and the National Institutes of Health have confirmed that spaced repetition can totally counteract this effect, leading to stronger memory consolidation and improved long-term application. Right? By revisiting concepts over time, your project managers are not only going to retain what they've learned, but they're going to be able to apply it more effectively on the job. Just think about that for a minute. You pay for a high-priced project management bootcamp, whether you send them somewhere or you bring someone or you do it yourself. You bring everyone into your main office for a day or a couple of days, right? A lot of our clients that have come to us were doing this previously. You spend a lot of time, energy, and effort. They're going to forget 70% of what you taught them within 24 hours. That's staggering, and it's not effective. So I want to get you to shift your mindset a little bit to make it more effective. One of the other things we do in our programs is we assign hands-on activities, like forcing them to build a risk register or practice active listening during a real client meeting so that the learning becomes action and not just theory. And this is important. You have to bake these things into any kind of development programs. That's just critical in developing anyone in any field, not just project management in the AEC industry, right? And the bottom line is that if you want your project managers to grow into leaders who deliver consistent project outcomes, you have to stop checking boxes and building out this ecosystem that I'm referring to that really considers the holistic project manager, right? Every aspect of them, onboarding them the right way, mentoring them, creating a great career path for your project managers, giving them the development programs that they need. We also have a certification, the AEC PM certification at EMI that we put with our programs, which is a boost to them in terms of their credibility, which could be helpful for them. Getting them the right software and tools, right, so that they can track their projects effectively, give great reports to their project stakeholders, and just keep up to date on the financial health of their projects, right? And then, like I said before, you may ultimately build a project management office that really supports your PMs across your organization, or you may do that already. But the bottom line here, and what I wanted to stress to you in this episode is, I want you to stop thinking about the word training and start thinking about the word development. Don't train your PMs, develop them. Now, what I will say is the word training can be utilized. So for example, in a training, you may have training sessions within a larger PM development program. Like for example, a lot of our programs at EMI, we do have a number of training sessions that cover different topics, one on scope maybe, one on schedule, one on budget. But then again, we have activities between those training sessions, and we even have follow-up videos through our PM Assist service for 2 years after the actual program is finished to help to reinforce the concepts that they're learning. So again, the word training doesn't necessarily have to be completely banished from your vocabulary, but understand that a training session or a training event should be one piece of a larger developmental program that will include many other things like the mentoring, like the activities, like interacting with some of your clients to test out some of what you're learning. That is how you develop project managers, and that's really, quite frankly, how you develop people in general, right? Develop leaders. Strong project outcomes need skilled managers and competent leaders. EMI's corporate training delivers expert-led courses in project management and people leadership, plus industry-recognized certification and exclusive premium content to take your team even further. Elevate your team's leadership capabilities today. Visit engineeringmanagementinstitute.org and click on corporate training. Right? So the time has really come for a change in our industry. We have to move in the AEC industry beyond these boot camps and webinars that are disguised as training. It's time to kind of retire this quick fix mindset. Our project managers deserve more than a few hours of instruction. They deserve a development journey that spans weeks, months. You can make a case that it could take years to develop a PM, especially from a junior PM to an advanced or senior project manager. And this development journey really has to be grounded in purpose, practice, and progress over time. When you embrace a development-first approach, you're not just investing in your people, you're strengthening the backbone of your firm's future. You're cultivating leaders, building resilience, and creating a culture of continuous improvement that will drive results. And think about it this way. If you do work for an architecture, engineering, or construction firm or organization, guess what you're delivering bottom line? Projects. And who's responsible for those projects? Your project managers. So how does it not make sense to develop them whenever and wherever you can over a period of time to drive that consistency in your organization? So please, I urge you, make the shift. Rename all of your programs from PM training to PM development. Rethink your programs with spaced repetition, real-world application, and long-term engagement at the core. Because in this evolving industry, training is a checkbox, but development is a catalyst. And the organizations that recognize this, they won't just keep up, they will be the leaders. I hope you enjoyed the episode today. It's a short but meant to be a powerful episode about rethinking things, right? It's not training, it's development, and that's going to help you and your organization grow. Please subscribe to our channel here if you'd like to get more videos like this where we help technical professionals become better project managers and better leaders. I'll see you next week.